Welcome back to my Animal Crossing New Horizons. I'm dear darling. I shall see what's going on our lovely island of Fawnhollow today, where, it's Friday. I'm a little bit tired today, so, maybe I'll go to sleep early on a Friday. Perish a thought. Or maybe I won't. Who knows? Obviously, obviously what? I don't know. I don't know what the rest of that sentence was going to be, but I'm going out on Saturday to go see Guardians of the Galaxy 3, which I haven't seen the second one, so, we'll see how that goes. I think I already said that yesterday, but I don't know. I've got stuff to do tomorrow, obviously, so anyway, good evening, everyone. Right now on Fawnhallow at 7:13pm on Friday, June 9th, 2023. What should we talk about today? That's a good question. I haven't started recording, I suppose, a new series yet for whatever's following on from Cosmic Express. It's a series which, the next game, which is planning to happen, I don't know if I should spoil it yet. I mean, it's coming out pretty soon, I'd imagine, though. Let me think about it. How many days do we have left of Cosmic Express? We've got one on next Tuesday, and that's literally it. Okay, so I actually do need to do a thumbnail up pretty quickly. And Spiritfarer, I think, we'll probably have 2 more episodes in it, maybe. But they're probably going to be quite boring episodes, and I'm not going to lie, until the actual finale one happens again, mainly because a lot of it is just sort of waiting around at this moment. But so be it. But yeah, the one following from Cosmic Express is not planned to be all that puzzly. In fact, I don't even know if it's a puzzle game. I don't think it is. I should look up how long it takes to beat the game. Maybe you can do some wild guesstimations for what you think a game is. Which, it's quite difficult to make a solid conclusion, I suppose, from such wild, such narrow, not evidence, but descriptors, properties, I suppose, in first place. How long to beat? Okay, I thought I said 32 hours, and I was like, what? No, okay, so it takes about 3 to 4 hours. So that's probably about 7 episodes. Okay, that needs to be noted, because, that's not actually all that many episodes. So maybe actually this game will get switched to a different one, because I kind of want to not have to draw a thumbnail out in the middle of July. Let me think. 7 is 3 weeks. Yeah. No, actually, that probably takes us to the start of July. That could be okay, because as I said before, July is art fighting. You might be like, it's a bit early to be thinking about art fight, but it's never too early to really be thinking about anything, I suppose, in advance. And normally in July I like to try and do as little as possible, for like the channel, etc. It's mostly just like having fun drawing or something. Or, to be honest, I probably should chill out a bit, because my wrist, I still feel like that first time I did an art fight, or second time I did art fight, I'm not sure my wrist ever fully recovered. So yeah, I mean, that's why sometimes when I play Animal Crossing, apart from the Joy-Con drifting being absolutely wild, a lot of the times I'm playing one-handed, because it's just I don't know, giving my right hand a break, to be perfectly honest. So I'm going to see what other games I have on my potential to playlist, to see if there's one which will fit the slot a little bit better. Because that seems like it's not. I mean, I don't think this game's going to. Time to beat. I think this game's even shorter, surely. No, it's about the same number. Okay, how about... I don't want to... Oh, it's actually way shorter than I thought, this one. 6 hours, 10 hours of completionist. Let's see, so completion is about 4 hours 30. What other puzzle games do I have in my Steam library, which I could play? Or what other ones do I have on my list, which might make a good thing? Oh, that could be an interesting one. I didn't consider that one in the slightest. I haven't updated this list for ages. Like, what other games have I, bought recently, which could work? I don't remember buying that game. Apparently I bought that game at some point. Oh, I forgot about that game. Interesting. So I'm just sort of looking at my puzzle-esque games. I don't have because I feel like I've done Cosmic Express was quite puzzle heavy, so it probably makes sense to continue on with this game. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna continue on with this game, and then I'm gonna whatever game's gonna follow on, which would probably be that game. How difficult is Splash Art? Does it look like it would be? Not that difficult. It's quite a simplistic style. Okay, you know what? We'll continue with that anyway. But that looks like a splash out I can bash out in 2 hours or so. So anyway, sorry, I was just like admin stuff or something. Again, in the Animal Crossing episode, which just seems to be my admin time. I'm gonna go eat some dinner after this. You know, you might be like, what are you gonna eat? I'm probably gonna make some spaghetti. I like spaghetti, to be honest. Spaghetti is just like a simple sort of dish. You know, pasta dishes in general, very versatile. You know, although pasta dishes is perhaps a bit too broad a category, I suppose. It's sort of like the same thing as saying like rice dishes. It's like, well, you know, the entirety of a dish is kind of defined by what you put on the pasta / the rice, or with it, not necessarily the actual, well, probably not the actual pasta or rice itself. But yeah, I mean, I quite like rice. I don't know if we're going to talk about rice today. I don't know if I have spoken about rice today. What's your favourite type of rice, you know? I don't even know like what the types of rice are called. I know there's like sticky rice and there's like jasmine rice. That was like the rice I always eat, which I don't know what it's called. I mean, there's pearl rice actually as well. What's this like the normal Chinese rice called? Not Chinese fried rice. Excuse me. Basmati rice, that's another one. Types of rice. Different types of rice. Like what is the classic Chinese one? Basmati, I don't know. Jasmine. Long grain, brown, black, Valencia, arborio, short grain, sticky. Parboiled wild. Because I don't know if the Chinese one is usually sticky rice. It's probably jasmine rice. That makes no sense, right? Looking at it. Typical type of Chinese rice. White, medium grain rice. So it's, you know, so descriptive, I suppose. Japonica rice? Rice from China. Indica rice. Jasmine rice. Basmati rice. Anyway, I like rice a lot, to be perfectly honest. Rice is a fantastic dish. I mean, by itself, I'd say it's a bit boring, but it's still not bad, you know. It's not like eating bread by itself, you know. It's not like the worst thing in the world, you know. The worst things to suddenly eat as just a meal by itself, but you can do a lot better, I suppose, by combining it with things. Sorry, dehydrated. Having a sip of water. That was more like a gulp, I'm going to be perfectly honest. But like, okay, what is the best rice dish? See, that's difficult to say, because there's so many things which go well with rice, to be honest. You know, you can put rice in a curry, you can have rice with like a main like meat meal or something, or not even. You can have it mixed together, make it a fried rice or something like that. You can have like a risotto, you can have like, and you can like put it together for like sushi or something. Like, but rice is rather versatile, I suppose, by its nature of being a plain carbohydrate sort of food, and carbohydrates tend to go pretty much well with anything. I'm going to be honest, like, maybe a hot take, but I think basically all the carbohydrates are quite interchangeable with each other with most dishes. Not all dishes, I would certainly say, but, you know, like, I'm trying to think, what if I had like some hung shao or something? I think it's like braised pork belly. Like a Chinese dish like that, typically served with rice. You could serve it with pasta. I don't see anything wrong with that. Potatoes, actually, you know, I've done that before. Perfectly normal, in my opinion. You could eat it with bread. It probably would be delicious in bread because it's so, like, saucy. I would say pasta's probably a little bit more iffy. But, I mean, you could do it with noodles. You know, pasta, noodles. I mean, they are different. Oh, I accidentally hit the pause button on my stream deck. But, you know, pasta, noodles, they're different, but they're not, like, insanely different, I suppose. And then the core concept of what they are is still there. They do taste different, and they do have different textures. But still. You know? It's like all the carbohydrates are interchangeable. You could even have it with chips. You know, there's this place I go to sometimes which sells Korean fried chicken, and you can have it with two different options. You can either have it either with rice or you can have it with chips, and they're honestly both pretty good. I find most of the time I have it with chips, normally because I have chips far less often than I have rice. So I'm like, ooh, I'm going to try something else. So let's have it with some chips. But I do like it with rice, especially when it's like something spicy. I don't know, you know, spicy I think just works better with rice than it does with chips. But I don't know if it really makes that big a difference. But basically, all I'm saying is carbohydrates are pretty interchangeable in my mind. Like, okay, I guess it's an interesting challenge. What carbohydrate, or what dish which has a carbohydrate is the least interchangeable? Like, you can't really pair it with anything else. The first thing that came to mind was like carbonara. It's probably some type of pasta, because I feel like pasta is probably the most different from the other type of carbohydrates, or the least interchangeable with the other sort of things. Like, you can't really have like roast potatoes and like a roast dinner, you know. I could see that working with rice. It works with bread, I would say. Like, you can often have like roast dinner or like roast roast in general is like leftovers and you like eat it with bread. But pasta I don't see working as well necessarily with it, but not to say it doesn't necessarily, but it just feels a bit more exclusionary. And so, you know, pasta carbonara, you might be like, what dish is that? That is like sort of not raw eggs, but like eggs like cooked on low heat, like in the fat of like bacon, or if you're actually, you know, feeling proper, you like pork cheek or something like guanciale, I think it's called, with like cheese mixed in there. I don't remember what type of cheese you're meant to use. I'm gonna guess like pecorino or something. I don't actually know if I should. I don't really know my cheeses or too. I'm gonna be honest. I haven't really talked to my neighbours. I should do that. And the rest of these are actually a little bit annoying to do, so we'll figure something out. Yeah, but I can't imagine, like, can I see that working with potato? Yes, actually, that's probably the one I think it probably works second best with, you know? I could see it, like, working as a jacket potato, because, like, ham and cheese is a pretty common, at least in the UK, jacket potato topping. You know, there's lots of different types of jacket potato toppings. You know, ones I used to have when I was younger is, like, tuna. I mean, it must have been tuna mayonnaise. I don't really know, because I feel like tuna on its own is a bit dry, and if it's like shredded tuna, like not like a tuna steak. Baked beans is insanely popular. My favourite is just ham and cheese, to be perfectly honest. I haven't also had a jacket potato for like years. I think coleslaw is also quite common. That's pretty good. Jacket potato. What else goes on a jacket potato? I don't really know. Yeah, beans and cheese. Well, certainly it doesn't look like the most glamorous food. It's sort of like I don't know. I hesitate to say it's traditional British food, but it's sort of like, I mean, I suppose baked beans are quite British, and it's sort of keeping in with a not the thought process, but the idea that Britain's food is very sort of strange and oddly plain, which is, you know, to a certain degree I think it is, but that doesn't mean it's not good, you know. It seems like a strange combination, but it's not bad, I would say. I still prefer ham and cheese, or just cheese on its own, but jacket potatoes in general. I guess we're going to talk about jacket potatoes instead of rice, so sorry, rice. We'll talk about you another time. Butter, that's a pretty good one. Or maybe just carbohydrates in general. Tune in sweet corn. There's some very adorable one with like more mashed potato and carrots and peas, which seems a bit excessive, to be perfectly honest. Anyway, but because of that, I can see potatoes working in a carbonara. I can't, like, bread feels a bit more iffy, and there's no way rice works with a carbonara. I don't think rice works particularly well with a lot of cheese dishes, which might actually sound a bit weird, because I think it's actually surprisingly common in Korean dishes, isn't it? Like, you can have, like, I'm not sure bibimbaps really come with cheese, but there's some, like, dishes. Is it like kimchi fried rice? It's not too uncommon, or not unheard of, to put, like, an egg and cheese in there or something? I don't know. I haven't really had too much Korean dishes, to be honest, and I do like Korean food, to be perfectly honest. Korean street food is very delicious. I do love tteokbokki quite a lot, tteokbokki or whatever, however you pronounce it. But yeah, anyway, sorry, rice. It's interesting how different rice is, I suppose. You know, rice is very popular in Asian countries, East Asian and South Asian, probably, is where it's most popular, and Southeast Asian, let's not forget. I don't know if there's any the statistics behind that, so don't quote me on it. But I remember back in school, probably in biology class or something, I don't really remember, where we were learning about like food groups or something. It was a secondary school, so it was more like a deeper dive into like calories and stuff about food groups. I think we watched a video, maybe it was primary school, I'm not sure. We watched a video about bread for some reason. And I remember it was like on a Blue Peter-esque show where there was like a presenter, there was like 30 kids or something. So perhaps a bit more like a classroom, I suppose, in Blue Peter, if anything. Of like 30 kids, and they had like a world map on the floor, and they were like, hey everyone, go stand somewhere where they eat bread or something. And then, you know, the insinuation was be like, whoa, the kids are standing all over the world or something. They eat bread all over the world. Except for, like, I remember it was just like a small thing, which they didn't cut out for some reason of the actual recording. I guess it must have been live or whatever. The hostess goes like, oh yeah, they don't really eat bread in China and India, and like pushed the kids off of it, or like ushered them away. Not like shoved. It's a bit harsh. Like shooed them off it, being like, oh yeah, you know, go stand in a different country or something. I remember that because I was like, you know, I'm Chinese. I eat bread in China. certainly the bread, it's not as common as rice, and I'm not going to disagree with you there. Rice is definitely like the flavour of a month, flavour of all time, carbohydrate. I can't really speak on India's half to be honest, but it feels like they eat bread in India, like naan bread is the thing, right? So in India, it always seems to me like it has an even distribution of, rice and bread. You like basmati rice, and you have like naan bread, and I'm not like that well versed in Indian cuisine, so before I say something which is just completely wrong, I suppose we'll leave it there. But China definitely has a strong lean, I think, towards rice over bread not by necessity, but also the bread in China is very different. It's quite sweet from what I recall. It's quite sweet and it's quite artificial. But I remember it was like, oh, you don't like stand in Japan either, but Japan eats quite a decent amount of bread. Maybe it's more of a modern thing, I suppose, but melon pan is like a very popular sort of like convenience store dish or snack in Japan, and that's literally just like melon bread. Also very sweet. I'm not gonna lie. You might be like, have you had it? I had melon pan, and yeah, I can see it. If I had more of a sweet tooth, I would eat it more often, I think, but I don't really have that much of a sweet tooth, so I don't. But it was pretty nice. Yeah, I don't know why that bread like video has stuck with me. There's a lot of like random videos watched from my childhood, like in school time, which have stuck with me for no apparent reason. Including that one about the 5 senses, which I'm like losing my mind, like trying to figure out what video series it was from. Because the only thing I remember, I don't know if I brought this up before, it's like there's these 5 alien creatures about with 5 different senses, and I think the one about sight was called Fawnhallow or something, but we always used to watch in primary school, like the first 2 or whatever, like I think it was like Feeding Fred, who looked like basically like a crab, and I can't remember the other ones, to be perfectly honest, but they're all like these different alien creatures, and they each had like their own episode about the senses or something. And I remember we only ever watched the Eiffel Ella one once, because like her episode was like the 5th episode, and we always like started the series from the beginning every time. I don't know why. So we watched the Feeding Fred episode like so many times, and then Eiffel Ella just like once. And I remember, for some reason, there's a shot of them looking at like a road sign or something, being like, "Whoa, you use your eyes to look at things." Anyway, I have no idea what that series is. If anyone knows it, please tell me what it is. To be fair, it's been a while since I've done some research about it, so maybe I should try and search it up again. But it's just like in my mind forever being like, this is something I remember, but I can't find any trace of it on the internet, so maybe it doesn't even exist. Who knows? But anyway, I'm going to wrap this episode off here, I think. So if you have been watching, thank you very much. It's been Adam across New Horizons. I've been Dear Darling. Likes, comments, discussion, shares, greatly appreciated. Twitter, Discord down below. I guess I just talked about rice. I'm not really sure. Hope we can see each other again. But for now, it's our farewell. So until next time, bye-bye for now. It's a bit of a sudden end, but honestly, I'm a bit tired and hungry. So I'm not even going to eat rice. I don't know why I spoke about it.